basically when people are referring to liability insurance for firearms, basically you're going to, in most cases, get that either through your homeowner's policy, if you're a homeowner, or renter's policy. And as mentioned, there are some standalone policies just for firearms liability, but they're pretty rare at this point, especially since...
What do they usually cover?
So they would cover accidents, and specifically accidents to third parties. So if you're a firearm owner, you have a homeowner's policy, you're the insured, you're the first party. Your family is also considered part of the first party. They're covered by the same policy you are. So if you have a contract worker come into your house, maybe they're in your bedroom, they're installing a new closet, weapon falls off of a shelf and it wasn't properly secured, and there's a discharge, and that worker is injured. That's a legitimate claim on a homeowner's insurance policy. It can also cover you for things that happen outside the home. You would imagine most of those cases would be like hunting accidents, like our former vice president, right? Like that kind of thing where you obviously didn't intend to injure another person, but you happen to have encountered an accident. That might be covered also by Dick Cheney's homeowner's insurance policy, if he were to be sued by the guy he shot. Yeah.
Right. And then because most of the insurance policies surrounding guns that I've ever heard of really involve, beyond the concealed carry insurance paying for legal fees or paying for your legal representation, are mainly about, if your guns get stolen, they'll reimburse you for the cost.
Yeah, that technically that's also covered on a homeowner's insurance policy. A different part of the policy, that would be the contents part of the policy, same as if you had an engagement ring stolen or a television stolen. It's just property. The homeowner's insurance also provides liability insurance. They provide some amount, and maybe $100,000 is about common. $100,000, $150,000 of liability insurance. And it would be, typically what you use it for is dog bites and slip and fall. You have a guest who gets bit by your dog, someone slips and falls on your property. But it can be for other kinds of accidents as well. But all of those policies will have in, bold letters an exclusion that says this does not cover intentional acts. This doesn't cover purposeful acts. This doesn't cover criminal acts. And it doesn't even cover, in the last 20 years, it used to be a little bit broader. It doesn't even cover if, say you did intend to shoot someone, but you didn't intend to kill them. Or say you intended to shoot something, but not a person, and you accidentally shot a person. That sort of thing, that would not be covered either. So it doesn't cover negligence either. At least that's what facially, that's what the contract says. Whether a court would find that, that's a different question. That's where...
That's interesting because, just because, accidental shootings are all basically the result of negligence in some way.
Right. Yeah. So
outside of mechanical malfunctions.
Right. It's got to be true. It's got to be a true accident for the facial language of the policy to cover it. Again, you go to a court, it goes before a jury. A jury may find you, negligent, and may find that the insurer is acting in bad faith if it tries to deny that claim. But that's not the intent of the insurer in writing that language, is that those cases would not be covered.
Okay, but the point here is that none of this stuff qualifies. No. The things that actually exist out there for gun liability insurance, none of that qualifies for what New Jersey is trying to require.